will suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah is inside of the conscientious, so I move with it.
Only people want to practice socialism is black folk. We want to be able to look about civil rights and social integration. And so capitalism means owning and controlling those resources. And that's what my powernomics stuff is about. We're going to learn how to own and control resources and power and wealth to take care of our own people. And I guarantee you, from all my years in running campaigns, every politician would knock down anything to get to your door. You can deliver and become the most powerful people in this country if you started voting as an independent bloc. It said we move as a group. We move as a fist rather than fingers. And we'll stay together and we'll take care of each other. We'll buy from each other. We'll support each other. And we'll look after each other. And we'll make our dollars bounce in our community on that first floor. We'll make it circulate 8 to 12 times before it leaves black hands. You're powerless. They know the only thing you're going to do, they shoot 20 blacks tomorrow. Only thing you're going to do is go out and march. That's all you're going to do. They know that. You have no power and wealth. Why don't black folk say our exceptionality is that we are different from all these groups you're trying to put us into? So how can you let somebody put you in a bag with all these other groups when they don't have the experiences you have and have been treated the way you've been treated? At some point, your exceptionality should be brought up and should be dignified. That you were the first in all these things. You were the first people. You were the first Jews. You're the first human beings on earth. You're different. Exceptionality. And I want you, and all these marches that you have, I want you to start marching towards exceptionality. And so we're going to get into that. But first, let me say, I don't want to deviate from what is customary that I do whenever I come to one of these occasions. That is to try to give you a status report on black people in America. And let me tell you up front, you are not progressing. I've been telling you that now for 25 to 30 years, even when I was with the Carter administration going around the country. You're not going to progress. You're going backwards. You're going backwards. The only people, blacks in America, are progressing are those who are locked into a vein called entertainers. If you're an entertainer, what you're telling white folk is that you are safe as a birth control pill. There ain't nothing gonna happen. You're not gonna do anything for black folk. If you're running with a ball, joking, telling jokes, singing, dancing, that's safe. White folk, that doesn't frighten white folk. They'll give you a television show. They'll put you on 10 television shows. They'll make you a host of a television show. They'll let you broadcast every sport event. As long as you don't address any issues dealing with black folk and the problems that black folk have. And so when you all see all these blacks on television, read about them in the newspaper, those blacks have been classified as being 20 times safer than the birth control pill. There ain't nothing gonna happen for black folk. And so this morning, I want to let you know that you are not progressing. You're not progressing. And first and foremostly, social integration has failed. Get that through your head. Social integration has failed. As a matter of fact, you lost in social integration. You didn't gain anything. You lost everything you had. Any black person here in this auditorium today that's more than 50 years of age can tell you what you used to have. You have nothing now. You used to have theaters and bus companies, cab companies. You used to have almost everything that whites had. But now you have nothing. Why? Because see, social integration is a weakening process. It is not designed to empower you. Powernomics might be, but social integration is not. You cannot integrate anything you cannot empower anything by integrating it. You weaken it. And in social integration in this country, what social integration did was make you a guest. You became a guest in what other people own and control. And any of you know that once your guest has been with you for 2 or 3 days, you want to get rid of them. We are guests. You don't own any hotels. You don't own anything of value in the country. That's why everybody's been pushing social integration. That's why you no longer have communities. You used to have decent communities. In every black city in America, I used to be able to go to any city and find a black neighborhood, not a neighborhood, those days were communities. You used to have some of the finest communities in America right here in LA. You had a Compton, you had a Inglewood, you had a Watts, you had a South Central, you had something. You got nothing now. And all my blacks who were so silly enough, they moved out of the city up into the mountains and said, I'm getting away from all those people. I'm going to go up in the mountain by myself. And you turn over the city to the people you're competing against. Social integration cannot enhance you. Now, anybody in social economics knows this. The Jews found this out way back a long time ago in the 1500s in Europe, when Jews tried to socially integrate. And Jews found out very quickly it is a weakening process. They became at risk. No group is going to try to socially integrate that's an out group. And especially if you're an out group, that's a hated group. You are a hated out group. You've always been a hated out group. And then why would you go divide yourself up, splinter yourself, and then scatter yourselves and think that somehow you're progressing? And see, that's why you don't see any other group in this country trying to socially integrate except black folk. You have not seen any integration marches from the Asians. What Asians have been trying to socially integrate? What Arabs have been trying to integrate? What American Indians are coming off the reservations trying to integrate? Nobody wants to integrate but black folk. That is a form of social economic suicide. But we do it. And they've been doing it now for all these years. And back during the 1960s, I told them all, you're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. Pushing social integration in this country. I'm saying you're going the wrong way. They said, well, Dr. Elson, you're a radical. I don't mind being a radical. Because see, radical is just the opposite of superficial. If you're superficial, means you're just dealing with anything minute, non-irrelevant, wheel spinning, non-frictional kind of activities. Radical means you got a problem that's very desperately bad.
Mm-hmm.
You're going the wrong way.
Literally.
You're going the wrong way, family.
Like a dog chasing our tails. Literally, like a dog chasing our tails.
Man. Shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson.
One of my favorite people.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome, family. Appreciate everybody joining us early on the broadcast. Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love, the Godcast. I am the God, Sincere Love, here with my lovely co-host, Nicely Girl in the Digital Building. What's going on tonight, beloved?
What's up, everybody? Peace, Black power, and reparations, everybody. Happy Sunday.
Indeed. We need to be more radical. Shout out to Jay Tuff in the Digital Building. Shout out to Jay Tuff. Shout out to View of One. What's going on, View of One? Holding things down in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all take note and pay attention to the links and things that View of One posts in the chat. That is our moderator. And she will be letting y'all, directing y'all to, certain links and stuff that's relevant to whatever we're talking about, or just things dealing with the Godcast in general. Shout out to Kid Gravity in the building. Appreciate you joining us tonight too, King.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes, indeed. Welcome. Seeing some of these names for the first time. Appreciate y'all tapping in with us.
Welcome to the family.
Make sure that you like this broadcast. Make sure that you share this out on your social media platforms. And please subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we go live with new content. We are usually here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time with our current event show where we cover, current topics and things that are important to the Black community. And then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, we have the Black Business Showcase where we bring on business owners and entrepreneurs from all different industries to talk about their journey into entrepreneurship and just to drop some good old game and information that we all could use about how to handle your Black business. So make sure y'all tap in with us for those each and every week. And also stay tuned for a couple of special episodes that we have. This Tuesday, we have Brother Christopher Leggett coming on. He's running for mayor down in Augusta, Georgia, and he's running on the reparations platform. And so we're going to be talking with him this Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. You guys make sure you set your reminders for that as well.
Yep.
And that's how we do it.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it, man. So let's get the show started.
So I personally wanted to start the show today by sending love and light to our sister, Regina King, who lost her son, unfortunately, due to suicide I believe yesterday or last night or sometime or a couple of days ago. But again, I just wanted to send love and light. I can't, as a mother, I just can't even imagine, or have the words to express to her. I don't even know what I would be able to say to her as a mom, but, prayer works. So let's definitely send love and light and all the best energy we can to lift that sister's spirit during this time.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. That one was a shocker.
Yeah.
Like you said, definitely love and light to that sister right there. One of my favorite actresses, probably my favorite actress, man. We was having a discussion not too long ago in the barbershop about her and Angela Bassett. It was a battle between her and Angela Bassett. Huh?
Probably your first crush. Remember 227, the show 227 that she was on? She was a kid on that show.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. She's just such a legend, man. And great actress, great spirit overall. You know what I'm saying? I think I have a preference for her because not only is she a brilliant actress, but just the roles that she chooses as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She chooses the roles that resonate, with the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She ain't really doing a whole bunch of shucking and jiving and nonsense out here. You know what I'm saying? So definitely love and light to that sister, man. That was crazy. I think that's her only son, right? Her only child.
That's her only child, yeah.
Right. And the thing that I didn't like when I first heard it, I forgot which one of these blog sites or one of these sites that put it out first. They were saying that like they was trying to get clout, like the way that they worded their headline and all that was like, oh, we got the exclusive, Regina King's son dies by suicide. We got the exclusive. I'm like, exclusive? Like, what the fuck is y'all talking about, man?
Right.
Like, everything is not to be exploited, man. Everything is not for clout chasing and shit, man. Like, these is people's real lives, man.
That part, and also one of their subscribers or people that view their page could be going through something. And
right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's sending the wrong message to someone that's going through something. Well, maybe I can make the site too if I do it, like it's just a wrong message overall and insensitive too.
Right. Yeah, I just didn't like that. I didn't like that. And that's why I didn't post it. You know what I'm saying? I sent it to y'all. I sent it to y'all in the back office, just, so everybody could be aware of what's going on or whatever. But I was like, I'm not posting this. That shit is corny as hell.
I personally waited for a while because honestly, even when you sent it, I was just like, wait a minute. I haven't seen it yet. Like I was waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, let me see if this is real. Like somebody got some misinformation. Like that's what I was thinking initially. Like this has to be wrong. I wanted it to be wrong.
Right. But you never know what people are going through, man. And money doesn't solve all problems. You know what I'm saying?
No money, no problems.
Yeah, So again, love and light to that sister.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And anybody else that's going through something like that, anybody that's dealing with suicide. And by the way, since we're talking about this on YouTube, I have to give some type of disclaimer because last time we talked about something dealing with suicide, they put a strike against our video.
Wow.
And it was limited to the amount of people that could see it. So YouTube, we good over here. We're we're trying to help. If there's anybody out there that's going through anything like that, you having those type of thoughts or whatever, find somebody to talk to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody goes through tough times in life, but you got to embrace the beautiful parts, the beautiful things in life. You know what I'm saying? Life is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? The good, the bad, the ugly, it's all a beautiful struggle. It's a beautiful journey. And you know what I'm saying? Find a way to get it out. Get that shit out of your mind. Find somebody that you feel safe with, that you can let them know what you're thinking and get some help, man.
Absolutely. There's always some help. And there's always another option. Other than that, there's options.
Right. He was 26, and my oldest son just turned 26 last week. 26. Shout out to AJ, by the way. Shout out to my oldest son, AJ. He turned 26 last week. And today, my son Zaire turned 18. So happy birthday to both of the young kings.
You got two family.
Huh?
You got two grown-ups.
Right.
18, I don't really consider grown. Like, I don't care what the world says. To me,
He
it's
ain't
like,
grown.
you know, yeah, you ain't grown yet. You know?
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. We working on it.
Yeah.
We working on it. Some 18-year-olds are grown. You know what I'm saying? But we working on it. But yeah, happy birthday to both of my sons, man. And there was a lot of birthdays I seen on my timeline today. So happy birthday to everybody out there that got a birthday. All of the Aquariuses. Shout out to y'all.
With y'all crazy selves.
Viewer one said my friend lost her daughter the same way a few years ago. Yeah, man, that's not sad, man.
Yeah. We just need to be, you know, these social media streets need to be a bit more sensitive as well. And, you know, again, stop deriding, you know, trying to be the first, you know, and when it gets to the point where it's just tacky and in poor taste, you know, to me, that's damaging your brand. If that's what you're trying to build, don't do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, it depends on, you know, who you're marketing to as well, because there's always lowbrow Negroes that, you know, they're going to rock with you. So it is what it is. If that's the energy that you want, keep putting it out there and you will receive it.
Yep. It will hit you personally.
Right. So what we got, man? What we got this week, man? A lot of madness been going on in the world. Oh, before we even get to the stories, well, this is kind of a story too, but shout out to our brother Reza Islam.
Oh yeah.
Down there in Washington, D.C. today. They had the Stop the Mandates rally in Washington, D.C.
Thousands of people showed up.
Yeah, from what I understand, a couple 100,000 people out there in the nation's capital protesting against these mandates. And our brother Reza was out there holding it down, representing for the community. And, you know, a lot of our folks showed up as well. Shout out to Lioness Crowned. I seen she was down there broadcasting some of the, you know, updating us on the news and everything that was going on down there as well. A few other sisters I seen, a lot of sisters representing, man, getting on the front lines and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to the whole family that's down there in DC today, you know, holding it down, putting in work. We with y'all in spirit. You know what I mean? We appreciate y'all. And, you know, let's chase these devils off the earth.
Right.
Let's chase these devils off the earth, man.
You know, I was pleasantly surprised and very pleased to see a bunch of us, you know, down there, because there was a rally some months back here in LA. A lot of the city workers and stuff like that, you know, protested against the mandate. And you may have had out of hundreds, maybe even thousands of people, 5 Negroes out there. It's like, no, you have to show up, show out.
Yeah, but that's because we ain't got none of them jobs.
Well, a lot of people here have the government. A lot of Black people specifically have a lot of city and government jobs. You know what I'm saying? And so I was, you know, disappointed that more didn't show up. It's okay and fine to talk about it on social media and stuff like that, but you also have to get feet on the ground, right, and do something about it. Posting about it or talking to your neighbor about it, talking to your relative about it. What are you going to do to make the change or create the change that you want? You have to put in the work.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I know tonight he's going to be with our sister Vicky Dillard as well. I think their exclusive Zoom is going on around 9 p.m. tonight. Yeah. He's going to be giving Vicky the exclusive on, you know, what took place today, how everything went down behind the scenes, and supposed to be dropping some information that we're not privy to yet concerning this global pandemic and these mandates and everything that's going on. And so, you know, Riz has been on the front lines doing the research in this area for a long time. You know, he's overqualified for the job. And so shout out to him and Vicky. And you guys, I think you could go to what is it?
onpurposewithvicky.com. onpurposewithvicky.com.
onpurposewithvicky.com. You guys can register for that one tonight. They're going to be doing a private Zoom call offline. Yeah. Talking about this whole global pandemic and everything like that.
Absolutely.
So let's get to it.
Let's get to it. I think I was going to say something in reference to that too. I think I forgot. You know what, my brain sometimes.
It'll come back.
But when it did, I'll remind y'all. Okay.
Oh, y'all got that good Cali bud out there.
Man. All right. So We are going to start today's show off. Everybody saw, his initial, I guess, introduction to his campaign. Mr. Gary Chambers, who's running for a Senate seat out there in Louisiana, and he showed up, outside with the blunt in his mouth and the recliner, and so, yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Right.
I'll say this for me. Do I think that we should be criminalized? Absolutely not. I do think that that needs to change because you have a whole bunch of people, specifically white people and Asian people, that are making millions in the weed industry right now. We're not, right? So for me, him doing his campaign smoking, but not talking about the business side of it, maybe rubbed me the wrong way for me, because I don't feel like we need to promote more people smoking weed. We understand what it does. We also understand the chemicals that they're putting in it to, make men feminine. It's just too much for me. I was just a bit turned off by the whole firing it up. Black people need more than, the legalization of weed. Like we have way more stuff that we need to be focusing on. And I would have appreciated if he pulled up talking about reparations.
Right.
That's just me.
Right. I mean, because that's what we said, right? That's the demand that's coming from the people who are supposed to be his constituents, the people that he's running to go represent. You running on a black platform, you're a black candidate, you're supposed to be running on a black agenda. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we're talking about
at all.
You know what I'm saying? We talking about reparations, family. We talking about tangibles. What I'm saying? But you said it though. You laid it out. That's exactly how I felt when I saw that too. Like, if you are going to be talking about the weed aspect, you still should be talking about reparations, because so many of our people have been mass incarcerated behind weed, behind marijuana. And now you have people from all these other communities who are the first ones to get these licenses, to open up these dispensaries, to farm it. You know what I'm saying? And they the ones that's about to cake off of this whole industry, this whole boom that's about to take place due to the end of prohibition.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about it from that aspect, then I can say, okay, I can see that angle. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't do everything. So if that's the lane you're going to pick it, but bring some substance to the table. Don't just talk about, oh, we're going to have the ability to do nigga shit.
Right. And also be consumers. You're promoting us being, instead of being a consumer in Jordans or whatever nigga crap that we spend our money on, spend all your money on weed, because we finally got it legalized here in Louisiana. Yet there's no black owned dispensaries. There's no black farms, none of that. So you're further enriching other groups.
The last thing we need.
No. So it was just, again, the message behind decriminalizing it. I understand that part, but I just that message to me got washed out with him firing it up.
Speak on it, Jackson Harlem. Yeah, we said 16 trillion, 14 million acres, and legal protection for foundational Black Americans.
Period.
You ain't talking about that, then you ain't talking about no Black agenda.
And also, Jackson just, so Jackson, says 16 trillion, which is great, right? That's a number, a great number, but I was on another space, yesterday with Marcel, who's also running on the Reparations Canada, and he was like, his number for him is 100 trillion.
Yeah, 16 trillion. You're talking about a bare million. You're talking about a bare minimum. You're talking about 16 trillion. You're talking about for starters.
For starters, right.
For starters, just to get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? There's no amount of money or anything that could repay for all the lives that was lost, all the blood, all the sweat, all the tears, all the sacrifice that our ancestors had to go through, all of that torture. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that could really suffice that.
Right.
But 16 trillion is a good start. Let's get it popping.
And as well as federal protection, right? You have other groups that's coming over here, who are non-citizens, some may be citizens, yet now they're getting legal and federal protection, something we don't even have. We're the most oppressed, depressed, beat up people in the world, yet we still have no federal protection, or at least if we do, because I'm not sure, because I know there's a lot of laws that are out there that are not enforced. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just, I don't know, it just bugged me.
Right. And then the other thing about this Gary Chambers dude, I
Oh,
remember when I first became aware of him, maybe about 3-4 years ago or so. He had a lot of videos that were going viral because he was running up in these
mhm.
town hall meetings and stuff like
Yeah.
that, going in on the representatives and stuff like that, and talking real good, sounded like us.
Yeah.
Sounded like us, and a lot of people were sharing his stuff and all that. He had a couple videos go viral. I started following him, and I think
He ran
he got
before.
he ran for another office. I don't know if he got elected, but he ran for another seat year or so ago, 2 years ago, something like that. And the minute that he got the primary or whatever to become one of the main candidates, he starts switching up, boy. He starts sounding like every white liberal Democrat I ever heard. All of a sudden, it was people of color and minorities, and
it was all lives matter.
it was all lives matter.
It was all lives matter.
It was all lives matter. And then he came with this bullshit. He came with this bullshit right here. Hold on, let me see if I can blow it up. Can I make this bigger?
Because after all, this nation is a nation of immigrants.
Excuse me?
Some of us brought here by force.
I beg your
Because
pardon?
after all, this nation is a nation of immigrants. Some of us brought here by force.
I beg your pardon,
Because
sir?
after all, this nation is a nation of immigrants. Some of us brought here by force.
Say that one more time.
You know what I'm talking about? Is that you, Gary Chambers?
Right. Now, let's be very, very clear for those of y'all that may be confused, right, and don't know. Yes, I said confused. We're the only non-immigrant class. Let's be very, very clear. If for you guys that are confused or confused, we are the only non-immigrants. Be very clear.
Right. And a lot of people can be confused about that. You know what I'm saying? 10 years ago or so, somebody said that. It might have made sense in my mind somewhere along, based on what I knew at the time. You know what I'm saying?
But Gary knows better.
But yeah, when you know better, you do better. And Gary definitely knows better.
Gary knows.
Gary definitely knows better. Like I said, I've been tapped in with him for a while. The brother is sharp. He's educated. He knows the history. You know what I'm saying? And he knows exactly what he's doing by running interference for these folks, trying to get himself some butter biscuits.
Yeah, Tamisha said he took
exactly
the red pill. Yeah, he dunked the Kool-Aid. I guess because he didn't get that seat before, he had to switch up. I'm not sure. I'll tell you this, what I noticed, right? I've noticed a whole bunch of people sharing his, commercial, giving him shout outs. And I'm talking about people with some very large platforms, black looking people, and this man is talking about we immigrants and all lives matter at this point. He's not even talking about reparations, and only thing he did was fire up a blunt. And I'm seeing Bill Maher talk about him, and others, what's his name? Killer Mike, Sean King. Like, these are people with huge platforms that are giving this man a big old ups and push. Yet we have candidates that are talking our talk, and I haven't seen that from any of them. So I don't know. I just, my antenna goes up.
Right. And I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that from Killer Mike. Killer Mike.
Yeah.
My brother, Killer Mike.
Yeah.
Come on now. We've been through this before.
Yeah.
The whole Bernie Sanders shit, the Keisha Lance Bottom shit, like, come on now.
Right. We gotta do something different, and not just what's his name? Gary Chambers, that's with this whole, black people are immigrants. We have this Henry Louis Gates Jr. dude who was on The View or something like that. And he was on the same BS talking about black people are immigrants. And again, there are Black immigrants. Let me not, discredit that. We do have Black people that immigrated here from other places. Foundational Black Americans, freedmen, descendants of American chattel slavery. We are the only non-immigrant group.
Facts. And I don't know if this is an old clip from what is that, The View? That's not The View. What show is that?
I think, that lady, she's one of the people that sit there. So I don't know.
Whatever show that is. I think that's old though, because he was talking about that show that he had, Discovering Your Roots, Finding Your Roots, or whatever it is. And so I don't think that still comes on. Maybe it does. I don't know. But I think it's old and it just resurfaced.
He still said it, and I'm sure, and if he said it there, he feels that way.
Exactly. Yeah. This is Henry Skip the Truth Gates saying the same bullshit lie that motherfucking Gary Chambers was just talking about.
That we are 99.9% the same. And this divided time, how important is it to remember that?
No, thank you for mentioning that. I think that the reason the series is so popular is that it has two subliminal messages. One is that we're all immigrants. We are all immigrants. My African ancestors didn't come here willingly. They didn't come on the Mayflower, right? But they were unwilling immigrants, but they came here from elsewhere. They were immigrants. Even our Native American brothers and sisters migrated here 15,000 years ago. Martin Luther King gave a great commencement speech at Stanford in which he said that we're a nation of exiles. And we are. And we have to remember that we're exiles, we're immigrants, and that at the level of the genome, we're 99.99% the same.
Amen. Thank you, Henry, so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And you can watch this beautiful show. It's called.
And you see how happy they got. You see how they amen in that bullshit. These two non-Black females that they got sitting up here. This white woman and whatever this one is.
These people know, including him. This is another way, to keep us messed up in the head and going along to get along and making sure that we're inclusive versus exclusive versus you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? It's just another way to keep propaganda going. They know exactly what they're doing. And think about this. This clip has gone viral again at the right time, because what they're trying to do right now is, which they've already done in the state of New York, they've allowed illegal immigrants, basically non-citizens, as long as you're in the state for at least 30 days, you're able to vote in local elections. Now, make that make sense. California, San Francisco, they're trying to push a bill right now for the exact same thing. So you got to be mindful.
Chicago too.
Yeah, Chicago, like they're allowing non-citizens to come here and vote, in our local elections. That does not make any type of sense. I can't go to their country and vote for anything.
Right.
Shit, I can't even go over there and buy a property without all types of red tape. Let's be clear about that too.
Right. And the purpose of them trying to push this whole "we are all immigrants" narrative is to diminish our justice claim, to make it seem like we ain't nothing special. You know what I'm saying? We the same as everybody else. Everybody has been mistreated to a certain degree. Everybody has had, some type of marginalization take place in their community. So what's so special about y'all? And that's the reason why I chose that clip from Dr. Claude Anderson when he was talking about, us being an exceptional people and how we are different than everybody else and how we are unique and we can't be compared to any of these other groups. Right. You know what I'm saying? We've been here the longest. We built this country. We fought in every single war. So many things that no other group can lay claim to. Right. That is only exclusive to us. We're the only ones who were classified as non-human beings on paper by law. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The only ones who it was made illegal for us to learn how to read and write. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And again, this is not to say that other people didn't go through anything, but guess what? No one went through what we went through for the longest time. Right. And we have still carried the burden of every group since the 60s
at this point, right before a lot of us on here were even born, and they're still asking us to continuously carry the burden of other groups and put what we need aside. And speaking of that, again, I was on another Twitter space yesterday with Marcel again, and there was this Puerto Rican dude, Justin. I hope you're watching. Justin comes on, and I thought that it was very rude and disrespectful for him to come on and say that we need to change what it is, change our direction and what we're trying to do, because immigrants are just coming over here for a better life, just like anyone else. Okay, we want to do it the right way, you know, and it's just going on. Just, you know, you guys need to focus on the 1% that, you know, rule the country. You guys don't need to focus on excluding, you know, immigrants basically from what it is that we're trying to do. Well, sorry, sir, you don't get to come into this space, number one, and tell freedmen or foundational Black Americans, whatever you want to call it, whatever you go by, what we need to do to further help you.
Right.
It was rude. It was disrespectful AF.
Right. And how long y'all been excluding us? Y'all come over here, like you said, for a better opportunity based off of where our people fought for. That's the only reason why those opportunities exist, is because our people cleared the path and knocked down, you know, Jim Crow and all of these other draconian laws that existed that would not allow y'all to have the opportunities that y'all have to come over here. And then y'all get here, y'all create your own little hubs, your own little enclaves, and y'all exclude us.
Right. And
you know
then
what
you
I'm saying?
also come and practice the same anti-Black racism.
Say
Let's
that.
be very clear. Your community also comes here and practices the same anti-Black racism as anyone else.
Because y'all practice it back home.
Right.
Y'all practice it back home in all these Latin American countries and all that. You go over there, and the dark-skinned people is the ones that live in all the barrios and all the ghettos and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They get treated just like niggas over there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got this whole mejora la rosa, you know, improve the race philosophy that y'all got in y'all community as part of y'all culture. You know what I'm saying? Where you encourage your children to marry lighter skinned people, to marry, you know what I'm saying, to try to basically decrease the melanin in your gene pool.
Exactly. Let's be clear also, you guys came over here, both yourselves and the Asian community, and you guys fought to be considered white. You didn't want to be identified as your own ethnic group. You fought to maintain whiteness, and that hasn't changed mentally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even the dark ones, a lot of y'all dark ones that's over here, Latinos and all that, y'all classified as white too on paper. Right. And you got the same anti-Black mentality as everybody else, darker than me.
Hair nappier than mine.
You know what I'm saying?
I know Black. I know Black.
So y'all got a lot of nerve.
It was heated. I will say that Marcel jumped right on, you know, that his head, you know, immediately. And he actually told him about, you know, the places that he's visited as well, and how he saw how anti-Black they were against their own people there that had a darker skin. You know, and this fool was trying that whole what we need to do. It's not fair. You know, basically, what about us? We've done enough.
Hold your own nuts.
We've done enough. Hold your own nuts at this point.
We don't owe nobody shit.
Nobody.
We don't owe nobody shit. And like my sister Vicky always say, uncheckable.
Uncheckable.
We uncheckable.
He tried it. There was another dude. He was kind of the opposite. He started talking about he has friends that are not, you know, that are non-Black, and you know how it was just like, bro.
I heard that part.
If you want to do all that, you do that on your time.
He was caping.
Caping.
Yeah, this was a brother. This was a brother that came into the space. I came on a little bit later, and I heard that part though. The brother started talking, and immediately he started talking about diversity and blah blah blah. All these key words. All these key words. So my you know, my spidey senses start tickling and shit, and then he started going harder and harder. Yeah, because I got white friends, I got Asian friends, and we all, and it was all lives matter in this motherfucker. And then the thing that I didn't like is when somebody tried to address it, the host shut it down. And I understand they trying to keep the theme of the conversation to the topic and all of that, and they're not trying to have the bickering back and forth, because it can get out of control in those Twitter spaces and, you know, Clubhouse and all that. It can't get out of control, but you let him ramble on with that bullshit, and that have nothing to do with the topic. So I felt like that he should have allowed somebody to clear that up, because he said a lot of bullshit.
They did let Marcel kind of check him. He was like, hold on, because he started talking about how the Chinese came over here and built the railroads, and Marcel cut right in. He was like, I can't even let you. He was like, I cannot let you continue at this point. I'm about to shut that lie down right now. Before you proceed, let me shut that lie down right now. Black people, freedmen, built those railroads. Later on, they came and expanded, helped,
and they got paid for it.
Exactly, we did it for free.
Because he said the Chinese built the railroads as slaves.
He was
no. They helped with the Western expansion, and they got paid for it. And they volunteered to come over here to do it.
Because they were
can't compare them to us. How you gonna compare that to us?
And in his case, and what I was assuming, what I think, it sounds like he was just so misinformed, because he was saying that he had conversations, I guess, with his non-Black friends. And I think that because someone asked him, well, have you brought up reparations to your non-Black friends, and how do they feel about it? And it seems like when he's brought that up, they switch it back around to them, which is disrespectful. So, they're not even, being sensitive to what it is that your conversation, they're still making it about them. That's just what I got from it.
What he needs to do, and brothers and sisters like him, what they need to do when they come into these spaces is just shut up and listen.
That's it.
Stop talking. Shut up and listen. Learn something.
Period.
And
the way that they name the topics, right? You already know what it's about. So again, like you said, well, I'm coming into this space and they're talking about reparations specifically for freedmen. Why am I coming in here talking about Chinese people that built railroads? Like, it made no sense.
Right. Like they need help. Like they need help with anything right now. Like they're not getting all the assistance in the world to operate as a buffer class.
Oh, and then the Negro, was it him or was it a different one? Another one was talking about how, I'm still driving a car that, is old as my 30-year-old son. I have a job. And, for me, honestly, I'm okay. And, I work hard. I did this, I don't make a lot of money, but I'm able to pay my bills. And I just don't understand, like, where the money is going to come from. He was just on that. And Marcel again asked him, did you worry about where the money came from for this trillions of dollars stimulus package, and all they sent you was $1,400? You weren't questioning where the money comes from. And he was just like, I'm tired of every time we bring up reparations and land and laws and everything, the first thing out a lot of people's mouths, whether you're Black and non-Black, is where the money gonna come from. You never ask these questions. You never ask where that 50 million was going to for the Asians, 6 billion going to the Afghans right now, the trillions of dollars that went into this COVID, stimulus packet that the Biden signed. Like, you don't ask any questions about anything else unless it excludes you because you're non-Black and it's going specifically for Black people. That's when the antennas raised, and that's where all the questions come.
Right.
So yeah, it was interesting, you guys. If you guys are ever able to get into these spaces and these topics, that are pertaining to us, it's very informative to me, because I usually don't speak. Speaking is really not my thing. I'm talking now, but y'all know I'm an introvert.
Talking now.
But he that Puerto Rican dude made me so mad I had to raise my hand in the space, and I actually spoke this time because I was just like, whoa, like, I'm offended. You don't get to do that.
Right. And that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to read my caption that I put with that post for the Henry Louis Gates thing.
I loved it.
Yeah. I said, Henry Skip the Truth Gates is full of shit. An immigrant is someone who leaves their home country to take up permanent residence in another country looking for a better opportunity. Somebody tell Henry Louis Gates there was no country called the United States of America until we built it. No other group can claim they built this country but us, and that's one of the things that make us unique. We are the ones who created all of the opportunities for these other groups to migrate to. Don't miss the deception about, quote unquote, our Native American brothers and sisters. Where is it at? Yeah, arriving here, our Native American brothers and sisters arriving here 15,000 years ago. Notice he doesn't mention where they arrived from, though. Black people from the continent that we know today as Africa were the first to circumnavigate the planet. And yes, we were the first to settle in the Americas as well. So another lie is that we were all brought over here in the belly of slave ships. But the truth is, many of us were already here before 1619. So those Native American brothers and sisters, I keep missing it. I keep going too far. Hold on. So those Native American brothers and sisters that he mentioned are people who would be classified as Black in today's society. Foundational Black Americans are a peculiar ethnic group, and we cannot be compared to any other group. We different.
All the way different, just different. We different. And again, they're gonna put some respect on our name. Y'all gonna stop pushing these lies for these biscuits that y'all getting. The biscuits are drying up. We're here to dry the biscuits up for you. Enough is enough. I don't care if you're Black. I don't care if you're white or any other thing. If you say something that's a lie, we're here to tell the truth. We're going to call you out. We're going to put you on the summer jam screen, and we're going to let everybody know that you're lying. Enough is enough.
Right.
All right. So, do y'all want to talk about what just happened, I believe, last week with the voting rights bill? It was shut down. Funny part to me was a lot of the people that did not support it were people within the Democratic Party. That was, I think they were assuming that they were going to get a lot of support within the party, and they didn't. A part of me is kind of feeling like they're just going to try to revisit it in a different way. I think that's why they're kind of doing it in states, since they couldn't get it on a federal level, perhaps. I don't know. It's just something a little fishy about the whole thing to me, because you guys constantly push immigrant everything, but then it did get shut down by a bunch of Democrats. So I don't know. I feel like something else is happening.
Are we good, family? Somebody said we buffering. Are we good? Can y'all see us and hear us okay? Press the number 1 in the chat if y'all can see us and hear us okay. Jake Tuff, you might need to refresh or something if we're buffering on your end. Everything looks good from my side.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it on my phone as well. Everything looks good on this side. So yeah, I think we're good to go. Just press the number 1, family, if we good to go, or let us know. I guess you can't let us know if you can't hear us, but
right. Good, But yeah, I just feel, I don't know. I feel like something else is, in the working, perhaps, because I was just surprised at how many Democrats shut it down.
Right.
Sometimes, how they like to play good cop, bad cop. Our topic last week, playing both sides of the argument, so,
it seems like, sorry.
That's okay.
It seems like there's a lot of low-key Republicans and conservatives implanted in the Democratic Party.
Good.
Right? It seems like a lot of that is happening, like with your man Joe Manchin blocking everything and shutting everything down that they try to get through, and a lot of the shit that he be saying out his mouth, he sound like a
just
Trumper.
as conservative as
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's war, man. It's warfare.
right.
It's warfare. And so the same way they send these people of color, these black looking people to come infiltrate us, to operate as the tares.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Within black society, they doing the same thing, it seems like, with the Republican Democratic parties. They sending tares to operate, on the other side, which, they're kind of imploding anyway. When you look at the Democrats, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the black, us foundational Black Americans really are their base. You know what I'm saying? Because the Black immigrants are only like 3%. There's not that many of y'all over here, by the way. I know y'all think y'all deep like that, but y'all not really deep like that, because they wasn't trying to let y'all over here in the first place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all are a very, very, very tiny minority, and y'all not moving the needle when it comes to keeping your paymasters in power. They really need us. You know what I'm saying?
And let's be clear too, and they know that they need us because, we've been undercounted in the census.
Right.
We know, which that came out, I think in 2010 or 2014 or so, they undercounted us. They said about 14 million. They're telling us 14 million.
We know
that it's way more than that. So they need us more than they are willing to admit. Not sure if you guys know too, there's a petition to sign on change.org so that freedmen, foundational Black Americans, are made into our own, ethnic group. Basically, you know how they have on rental applications or job application where your ethnicity is white, Caucasian, Asian, Pacific Islander, Black, African American. Well, no, foundational Black American. You know what I'm saying? So
we need that.
We need that. So
we definitely need that.
If you guys haven't seen that, I recommend that you do sign it because we definitely need to, differentiate who we are because again, we are unique people as our brother elder, Dr. Claude Anderson has told us.
I ain't gonna lie, I'll sign it for shits and giggles, but I ain't never seen a petition get nothing done, to be honest. Right. You know what I'm saying?
But I think too, it's good to have the conversation, right?
Yeah, so and to collect the data.
Yes, to collect the data, and it also puts in people's mind like, wait a minute, because I didn't, I saw it, I was like, well, that is a good idea. Why didn't we think about that a long time ago?
Yeah, we definitely need it.
Yeah. So,
but the thing I want to say about this whole John Lewis voting rights thing that they keep pushing out there, the thing that I want to say is it seems like the only time that they want to do something for Black people, it's to help us keep them in power.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing that's going to benefit us, but we're going to help y'all with these voting rights because that's going to benefit us. That's going to keep us in control of y'all niggas.
And they use so we can keep the Republicans out of power. Well, you're treating us like the Republicans treat us. So what's the damn difference?
Worse.
I'm just hell.
Worse. Y'all niggas is the worst.
Right. And also, let's keep in mind, Joe Biden, remember, allegedly, this was on NBC.news. He supposedly broke Obama's record when it came to voting. So don't come to us a year later now talking about all of a sudden our main focus needs to be voting rights. Well, voting wasn't a problem when you guys put this out and when he was bragging that he, beat Obama's record. So why is it a big deal today? Now
both of those things can't be true.
Yeah.
Both of those things can't be true. Black people voting in record numbers and voter suppression. Which one? Which one is it?
Which one is it, y'all? Make it make sense. But
Black
what they
people,
know is we have short-term memory. See, but I keep stuff.
Indeed. Indeed. Black people, we already have the right to vote.
Yeah.
And I don't know too many Black people that ain't got no ID. Even the most hood street niggas I know got an ID.
My teenager has an ID.
They try to make it seem like, oh, this is such a big deal because Black people don't have no ID. What are y'all talking about?
Right. Well, make them free then. How about that? If you worried about IDs, make them free for 6 months or something. I don't know.
All right. Well, I think this was it right here about him breaking Obama's record.
Yeah. Joe Biden breaks Obama's record for most votes ever cast for a U.S. presidential candidate. But fast forward 1 year later, voter suppression. Black people, they're trying to take your right to vote away. No, what they're trying to do is replace your vote with a non-citizen class of people. That's what they're trying to do. So understand that.
Right. And shout out to my dude, Duane B. Duane B said something that was hella on point. He said the Republicans, they use voter fraud to gin up their base.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To get their base hot and bothered over the voting issue. There's massive voter fraud, and you got people that are dead who are voting, and voter fraud barely ever happens. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare, you know what I'm saying, for voter fraud to actually take place. You know what I'm saying? And then the Democrats, he said, they use voter suppression to rally up their base. You know what I'm saying? Get us all hot and bothered about this issue. You know what I'm saying? So it's just Just the bullshit type of games that they like to run, ladies and gentlemen. But the
Yeah.
thing is, we're not falling for this shit no more. We getting way more politically astute, politically sophisticated, and now we're hip to all of their talking points, all of their strategies, because they've been running the same plays for decades, right? They haven't had to run any new plays because the shit been working. Shit been working like a charm. So why come up with any new plays, any new strategies? And so now that we're hip to it, they understand that, damn, niggas is waking up. This shit ain't working no more. And so now, like my sister just said, they're trying to funnel in a new voting class. They're trying to fast track non-citizens and give them the right to vote after they've been here for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? In order for them to not need our vote anymore, right? But the problem, again, like I always say, the problem that they're going to run into is that a lot of these people come over here and they end up voting Republican anyway. So they're not even a dependable base for y'all.
No. And they showed that in this past election, the one before that, you know, like
Virginia.
Yeah. But y'all still trying to like win them over by giving them tangibles. They're taking the tangibles and they're still taking their vote elsewhere.
Right.
To give it to them, then give it to us.
So the Democrats is just keep floating. Indeed. And the reason why they're comfortable doing that, the reason why they're comfortable giving all these other groups resources, giving all these other groups legislation and things of that nature, like, you know, actual substantive things, is because these people are not actively fighting white supremacy. These people are not in the business of changing the status quo.
No.
But they understand that us and resources, oh, that's competition.
Yeah.
They know what time it is. They know we ain't coming to play.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So they will cut off their nose to spite their own face before they let us get an inch. Because even with nothing, we hella competition right now. You know what I'm saying? With nothing, we still have these niggas on the ropes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So imagine niggas with land.
Right.
And actual resources. You know what I'm saying? Thriving communities and all of that.
Well, that's why they destroyed them.
They know they can't fuck with us.
Yeah, they had them. They got jealous, you know, because the thing is, they still needed a base or some. They needed consumers, right? So they had to destroy our, you know, businesses and things so that we can go back to consuming with them. But yet, y'all want us to go to the back door. You know, my mom tells me this story all the time when she was still in Texarkana, you know, and they had like this like stand-up hot dog stand, right? And so she was coming back and forth to California at the time. She was like 15 at the time. And in California, I guess she didn't have to do this, you know, at this time. But she's 15 and she goes to buy a hot dog and the guy tells her, gal, you got to go to the back, you know, to get your, you know, hot dog. And so she was like, and she started mouthing off, well, in California, you ain't got to do that or whatever. And she was like, my aunt grabbed her, like, girl, you can't say that out here. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, you was going to do a little mouthy Negro? She was like, well, you know, I had been kind of back and forth and I wasn't used to that anymore after being at my grandmother's house in Oakland. I wasn't used to that. So when this man came, gal, you got to go to the back. She was like, well, I ain't got to do that in California, you know. I was like, wow. I just, you know, and again, my mom is alive and well. Right. So when they tell us to get over it, that was a long time ago. No, it wasn't.
Right. Man. And so I ain't even see this. The Congressional Black Caucus put this poll out there.
Oh, yeah. So the Congressional Black Caucus put this poll out last year in June, basically asking Black America, what did they want, right? Which legislative priority of the Congressional Black Caucus do you want to hear more about and remain the most important to you? What do y'all see?
I'm surprised they even put reparations as an option, because I've seen them do some of these polls before and reparations was never an option.
But that's what, you know, again, Black Grassroots is running the narrative. So they have to talk about it. We're forcing them to talk about it.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And so you see reparations is 57%. 33% said voting rights. That's the sleep Negroes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 6% talking about infrastructure, and only 4% cared about the George Floyd Justice and what is it? Justice and Peace Act.
Yeah, and what's so funny about that? Now, just remember, Jim Crow Joe just said something about how Black people were more, I guess, compassionate about George Floyd than we were Martin Luther King, something to that nature. But then you see 4% only wanted that bill, because a lot of us was like, what happened to George Floyd was, unfortunately, it shouldn't have happened. It was wrong on many levels. But those statues and all that bull crap that y'all putting up, we didn't want that.
Yeah. That congressional caucus poll determined that was a lie.
That was a lie.
That was a goddamn lie. And that's the thing about, it's a lot of control opposition out there that you see in the mainstream media when it comes to this whole issue. But because now everybody, they're so-called pressing Joe Biden. I'm about to say Joe Biden. They so-called pressing Joe Biden about not doing enough for Black people. Right. But everybody that they bring on to talk about it, they talking about issues that we're not even talking about. Yeah. Oh yeah, Black people are upset with Joe Biden because he didn't do George Floyd Act. He didn't do enough for the voting rights and blah blah blah. No, that ain't why we upset with Joe Biden. As a matter of fact, we ain't upset with Joe Biden. Right. We upset with y'all dumb niggas who voted for him.
Exactly, because we knew he wasn't gonna do nothing.
He already told you he wasn't gonna do nothing.
Period. Right, but now he's explaining. Now he's explaining, talking about, well, the reason why he hasn't done much is because he hasn't looked the Negroes in the eye. Nigga, if you don't just sign that bill and cut a check, we don't need to look at you. Did you look at those Asians when you gave them $50 million?
You know what I'm saying?
As a matter of fact, are you able to put that video up there when he was talking to the Black misleaders about what it is that Black America needs to do?
It's on your page, ain't it?
I think I sent it to you, but I can send it to you right now, of telling Black America what it is that we need to do, because basically he wasn't coming up off no tangibles. We may as well stop asking, what I'm saying? What we need to do basically is figure out what we're going to do with the Hispanics, because America is almost going to be, minority Caucasian.
We're doomed.
We're doomed, because not just because of Black people. These are his words. So yeah, I just sent that to you if you want to post that, because some people may not have heard it before. A lot of people do not want to believe that this man is exactly who he has always been, a segregationist.
We need to keep it in the front of your mind. Anyway.
Buddies with a not even a former, he's dead now, but a KKK grand wizard. Like, this is a person that he called his mentor. Like, we have to understand that those, how can a mentor be a KKK member? Like, how does that work in politics?
Right.
How does that work? There's plenty of photos out there, him hugged up. He actually helped with the eulogy.
Yeah, that was the big homie.
Klansman, yeah.
That was the big homie. What's up, son?
He didn't have enough time.
What you got, new shoes?
Yeah. But I said he was going to do that today. And when the game ended,
Cool. Hold on, son.
We're gonna.
I'm going to hear it.
Here's that leaked video.
This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population, and y'all do. This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics.
So,
out the horse's mouth.
So, what does that what does that mean? First of all, why, if there's no racism, there is no white supremacy, why is this country doomed because it's becoming minority white?
Right.
Why is that a problem if
Right.
if we don't live under a system of white supremacy? Why is that a problem that whites are becoming a minority? If there's nothing wrong with being a minority, y'all make it seem like it's so great to be a minority and we got it so good. What's wrong with being a minority, white folks?
Yeah. Is that genetic annihilation y'all worried about that our good ancestor has warned us about, that y'all were worried
Dr.
about?
Frances Cress Wilson.
Exactly. Hello. She's been warning about this. This is what they've been worried about for a very long time. And guess what? Now you heard it from the horse's mouth.
And it ain't nothing that they could do about it, really. There's nothing that they could do to reverse it. And so that's the reason why they try to get these other groups who can who they could classify as white, who could pass as white, a little bit, to try to strengthen their numbers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And also they can act as hosts because a lot of them, they have more melanin in their gene pool as well. And so these white women is not getting pregnant and having babies fast enough, for these white men. So that's why you see a lot of these Proud Boys and a lot of these people that's the 3%ers and all of these extreme white supremacist groups out here dating and marrying all of these Asian women.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Latino women. And even some of them even got some black girls.
I know, that was wild. That was wild right there. I was like, sis, what you doing? But, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's some other shit going on right there.
Right. Yeah, but that right there, we had to play that because I know there's people that will be like, no, we still have to give him time. He's only been in office for a year. We need to give him more time. Time for what?
They told us the same thing when Obama was in office. That man had almost a decade. They kept saying, you got to give him time. You got to give him time.
Be patient, black people, and then he over here, dreamers. You know what I'm saying? Check them off the list, making sure they can get driver's license and go to school and that whole, this rule that if you're a non-citizen, illegal, you come here, right? You have whatever gate, to get over here, get on whatever.
Breaking the law,
have a child here. That child is born here, and all of a sudden now, I can't leave because my child is an American, and that's something has to be done, about that. Because if I have a child in Mexico or anywhere else, my child is not Mexican, right? And I can't, claim citizenship there, can I? I don't understand how that works.
Right. You could go to China for as long as you want to go to China. You ain't never gonna be Chinese.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all this stuff that they create, to make these other groups, come over here and again to trample on top of us, right? So, like Dr. Claus says, social integration weakened us. Period.
It's a weakening process.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what say you about some of these black immigrants? Because we recently seen, during the Martin Luther King holiday, Michael Blackston came with some disrespect.
Yeah.
Rihanna came with some disrespect. Right?
Yeah. I mean, again, y'all coming over. My thing is, we welcome you guys. We support you guys. I can show y'all a picture. I went to one of Michael Blackston's shows. I think he's very funny, but you guys are going to put some respect on our leaders' names because they helped you get over here. You couldn't get it popping where you're from. You could not get it popping. You had to come here and get it popping. And then you get here, and the first thing that you want to do is show disrespect, and it's not accepted. And you're only harming your brand because guess what? We're your base too.
Right. Indeed. And that shit just ain't funny, man.
It's
and
not.
I was glad that Cat Williams checked them on that shit. Yep. And a lot of black people with large platforms were going in on this issue as well, letting them know that shit ain't cool. And we got to do that more, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We got to start, laying the rules down, and letting people know that we're not going to be standing for the disrespect. Because for too long, we've kind of allowed it without saying nothing, without checking that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he cool, he funny, you know, that's our brother. He don't mean nothing by it. Nah, that shit is disrespectful.
Very.
You know
Everything is not funny, and not everything is a joke. This is and then he waited. He didn't do that or post that on MLK's birthday. He waited till the national, celebration to do it. Like, it was just like, why did you pick today? Everybody's, posting, videos of him, clips, and quoting him, and you decided to do this stupid crap.
Yeah.
It was just. It's tasteless. And also, he has children that are still alive. You think they want to see that? I mean, you're a comedian, yes, but I would hope that you're a human first. And mind you, if a white person had done the same thing, it would have been even more of an uproar. So we need to give them that same energy. Disrespect is disrespect.
Same energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's just another way to let people know, that we are circling our wagons and identifying ourselves as a distinct ethnic group.
Period.
Distinct? Did I say the right word? Distinct?
Yeah, you did.
A distinct ethnic group. You know what I'm saying? And so, we checking that bullshit at the door. That's just the bottom line. We checking that bullshit at the door. Rihanna, putting up pictures with Dr. King with the gold teeth in his mouth and all that shit. Like, she had that as her banner on Twitter. It might still be up there.
Right.
It might even still be on her Twitter. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, that's disrespectful, and we're not standing for that type of disrespect. And we will stop supporting y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like Rihanna. I like her music and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But we're not gonna tolerate that type of disrespect. No. These are our icons. These people sacrificed their lives for us.
Yeah. And for y'all,
we're not doing that.
For y'all to be here, it's because of his marches. Right, and his push, for the Civil Rights Act. He made sure that his brothers and sisters from Africa and Caribbean were included in that, trying to help y'all get here, thinking and assuming that you guys were going to get here and be on code with us.
Right. And speaking of off code immigrant Negroes, Lord Jesus, you had academics and fresh and fit. Oh my goodness.
Funk and unfit.
They was cooning it up, Lord Jesus. But then, after that shit went viral and, a lot of people was giving them that work for the bullshit that they were saying on that platform. I don't know if it was their show or academic show, because I don't watch neither one of them shit. So
I think he was on their show. I don't watch either of them either.
Whichever it was.
Yeah.
A lot of people gave them that work, so we don't even really need to rehash that too much. But ever since then, a lot of pictures and videos have been coming out. I don't know if he's fresh or fit or which one is he.
Right. I don't either.
I don't know which one he is, but the Sudanese dude, the Arab looking dude, right. A lot of pictures and videos been coming out of him laid up with white dudes, hugged up with white dudes, half naked and butt naked. Yeah. At frat parties, room full of dudes and all of that stuff. And so we see where this ideology comes from. We see where this anti-blackness comes from. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Those white dudes had those alt-right haircuts. They were throwing up the hand signal. I saw all that. So I was like, oh, now it's adding up. We see it.
Right.
And now his little frog face, Haitian companion, yeah, y'all, you guys messed up.
I think he's from Barbados too, that other dude.
Okay. I thought he was from Haiti.
And yeah, so shout out to the internet, for doing what y'all do. The internet, the internet is undefeated, boy.
Wait. He was also a CIA agent.
Yeah, he said
that. Yeah, he was some type of CIA
Homeland Security or something.
Yeah.
Oh, my father came over here. He had $1.37, and and he kept pointing out the fact that he was getting robbed. He was in Brooklyn. He was getting robbed. And so, that's another thing that built the resentment toward black folks, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because niggas was jacking your pops up. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. In New York, there's a lot of Caribbean immigrants. Mm-hmm. In Brooklyn, there's a large Caribbean immigrant class. You know what I'm saying? You go to Brooklyn, you go to the 90s and Flatbush and all of that shit, it's like a Caribbean enclave. And so a lot of times what happens is, and I'm not saying Black Americans don't do crimes and do fuck shit and we don't got fuck boys in our community. We do. But a lot of times, a lot of these heinous crimes and stuff are committed by people from other places, and it all just gets dumped on us. It gets associated with Black Americans.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But then whenever they do something honorable or they do something fly, then they start waving their flag and they specify exactly where they're from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We ain't included in that.
I seen something like an example of that recently too on Twitter. Somebody got elected somewhere. It was a Caribbean immigrant, and they made sure to point out that this was the first Haitian American so and so.
Yeah, it's a female. I want to say she's in I forget what state, but she's just been elected into one of those Senate seats as well. And I believe she's a Haitian immigrant, if I'm not mistaken. And she was just sworn in, and instantly, you did not see Black. It was Haitian American. They instantly, all of a sudden, I'm all Haitian, I'm all, Jamaican, I'm all Dominican, whatever the case may be, is no just Black.
Right. Whenever they have a good achievement, they have to specify where they're from and separate themselves from us.
Right.
This is not an accomplishment for Black people. This is an accomplishment for Haitians. All right, cool. But when a Haitian rob one of these cab drivers, keep that same energy. Make sure you specify where he's from.
Remember the Jamaican dude in New York that just killed, I think he pushed the Asian girl into the train or something like that. And so when it came out, when he was arrested, black man, and come to find out he's Jamaican. Now, let's be clear. He did something heinous. All you saw was Black.
Right.
But you didn't get the whole Jamaican American, did this crime. It was just Black.
Right.
And that was a week ago. That's just a week ago.
Shout out to my brother DJ RP Beats in the digital building. What's going on, King? Yeah. And he was the one that when they had him doing the perp walk, he started screaming out about reparations and shit, 40 acres in a mule or some shit.
Right.
That seemed kind of funny to me too.
I'm saying, and we know, or what we not necessarily know, but what we've been assuming is a lot of these crimes, specifically in New York, have been kind of suspicious. The perpetrators either have on pink, black leather jackets.
They homeless.
It's homeless. They're right in front of the camera. Like, let's be clear. A person committing a crime ain't trying to get caught. Like, why wouldn't I try to get you at the alley, closer to your car, maybe follow you home? I'm gonna just do it right here with that camera I see right here, and I'm gonna have on my flaming pink on, just like every other person that committed a crime. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And so that's really that on that, family. What else we got this week? Nicey girl.
So here in California, we got to touch on the jab. So California lawmakers want children 12 and up to be eligible for vaccines without parent consent. First of all, that's a medical decision. You know what I'm saying? My 12-year-old would not understand any of that. So absolutely not. But again, we already said they're coming for our children. I think Cynthia and I, drive that home every show. They're coming for our children. This is crazy to me.
Yeah. And that's especially devious and diabolical, right? Because even when me and my kid's mom was going to court, fighting over custody and child support and all of that shit, we had to be very specific about who have the rights to what, right? And so we had to be very specific that, I'm not allowed or she's not allowed to make medical decisions without consulting with the other parent, educational decisions without consulting with the other parent. So if they understand that that's important in these court proceedings, you know what I'm saying, that even the mother cannot make that decision without the father or vice versa, then how is it that a school teacher or the school nurse, could make that decision without any of the parents.
Right.
What type of shit is that?
Man, I just saw too some lady. I don't know what state this is in, by the way. I think it's in California because it was on California news. Maybe not, but she recorded herself in her bathroom giving her son's friend the vaccine, and then she was like, "Oh, I hope that you're gonna be okay. Maybe you want like."
She was a teacher.
Yeah, and this happened in her home.
Yeah.
She did it and recorded it and everything. So they're, going to court, I believe tomorrow. Where did she get the vial from?
Where did she even get the shit from? Does she even know if it's the right dose? Do she even know? Does anybody know anything, by the way?
Right.
Does anybody know anything about what the hell they're giving people and what they taking?
Right. I just said, man, again, parents, you are the person that should be making all decisions for your children while they are under the age of 18, and this should not be allowed. And you fight as hard as you can to make sure that this is not allowed. Period. And you gotta have the conversations with your kids, right? You can't just send them behind enemy lines, not knowing what's up, and then these people are able to run game on them, and just offer them, extra chocolate milk or something to get a damn shot. Right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put your babies up on game so they know what's up when they go in there. They know what's cool and what's not cool. The same way we talk to our kids about, inappropriate touching, you know what I'm saying, about talking to strangers and, going up to people's cars or, accepting candy or anything from somebody that you don't know. Same way we have those conversations now, we got to have these conversations. Yeah. Even your teachers, that the people that's we're entrusting with our kids, you know what I'm saying, are being, what do you call it? Deputized to a certain degree. They're being medically deputized, you know what I'm saying, to make medical decisions for our children without our consent. Man, I will blow one of these places up. Do you understand? And I'm saying that publicly. Yeah, I'm saying just, look out, again, have those talks with your children, make sure that they understand, because I'm not playing about mine. That's just a no. So we have pastor arrested after disabled people found locked in his basement. 8 people were found, various disabilities locked in their basement with nowhere to escape. And this is a Black pastor, it looks like, too. What's going on? These pork chop pastors. Yeah, and I'm wondering, him and his wife, right? Right. I'm wondering if they were running some type of home, for people with disabilities and stuff, and instead of them doing the right thing and taking care of them with the grants and subsidies that they're getting to take care of these children, they were basically abusing them and putting them in the basement. Yeah, and what it sounds like they were doing were, getting those Social Security checks and disability checks, and you know what I'm saying, that type of shit going on, keeping these people locked in their basement and shit, getting that government money, and not taking care of the people. You know what I'm saying? Abusing the people, mistreating the people, and when I seen the pictures of the pastor and his wife, shit, they look like they need their own disability. They look like, they need to take care of their damn self. Like they need a nurse's assistant to come help wipe their ass. Right. It's just terrible, and no one deserves to be mistreated, especially people with disabilities. I'm only going to assume that these are 8 Black disabled people, that they're mistreating as well, and it's just sad. Listen, family, make sure y'all codify y'all language in the chat as well. You can't say certain words on these platforms. They already, be shadow banning us to a certain degree and all of that already. So just make sure you codify your language when you leaving comments in the chat. We know what you're talking about. Right. All right. So, So this Virginia mom goes into some school meeting, basically, and she threatens, right? Because she's upset that the school is making the children wear masks. Right. So she goes to this little meeting in the school and says, I'll be back Monday with my gun right?
Right.
They had no intentions on arresting her, but because of the social media, you know, the power of social media, like, hold up, why wasn't she arrested? Why wasn't she charged with a terrorist threat? If her son or any other student came and, you know, shot the school up, then we'll be having a different conversation, et cetera, et cetera. So she gets arrested. Her bail, y'all, $5,000.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, shout out to the internet though, man. The internet, you know what I'm saying? The internet gets on your ass. Hold on, what happened there? Message retracted. Oh, maybe one of the moderators did that.
Yeah, you know, white people can openly go into school board meetings. They can, some, you know, even I was looking at something else. One of those, you know, insurrection, you know, folks, you know, he goes to court, you know, judge trying to give him all the outs that he can, but he's acting a fool. Y'all wasting my time. I'm ready to go home so I can eat. Judge still trying and trying. So he was just making such a-hole of himself that the judge arrested him, you know, on the spot. But it took so long, and he was trying to give this man so many outs, you know, before, like, you were about to walk, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it took all of that. He had so much patience for this white dude because he really didn't want to arrest him.
Right.
You know, they have a lot of patience for their own. They stay on code.
They gotta beg to get arrested out there.
They gotta beg to get arrested. Yes. You know, and the same thing with this woman, you know, $5,000 to white people that, you know, the average white family is worth $200,000 versus the average black family is only worth $24,000 a year. Let's be very clear. That was nothing for her.
Right.
But a slap on the wrist.
Right.
All right.
Make sure y'all hit the like button, family. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new content. You are watching Sincere Love to Godcast. For those that don't know, you should know. I am the God, Sincere Love. This is my co-host, the lovely, nicely girl in the building. We appreciate y'all tapping in with us. All of the likes, all of the comments and everything. Appreciate all the engagement. Shout out to y'all. What else we got?
So Tennessee lawmakers present self-defense bill in honor of Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, shit.
Oh, and more white privilege news.
Lord Jesus, I didn't even see this one.
Yes, this is on the Hill. This was on January 19th. So Tennessee state lawmakers present a self-defense bill Wednesday that says, in honor of Kyle Rittenhouse.
Why Tennessee? Wasn't he in Wisconsin somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And he's from Illinois, but the Kenosha shit was in Wisconsin, but they doing this in Tennessee. Okay.
Yeah. Wait. Oh no! I was like, wait a minute. I thought it was them, but it is a state rep Bruce Griffey, a Republican, introduced the bill. It's the HB 1769 that will require the state to reimburse defendants found not guilty of homicide charges due to self-defense.
Reimburse. Reimburse.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know I seen something about he filed a motion to get his gun back, and
that's a separate thing.
Yeah.
So this is a Republican trying to, you know, present a bill to help people that kill people, right, and that are found out guilty. Then Kyle Rittenhouse has he's seeking to have his gun returned to him that he used to kill those two individuals, because he says that he wants to destroy the weapon himself. He doesn't want them to destroy it. He wants to do it.
Please.
Do y'all believe him?
You know he about to auction that thing off to the highest bidder.
Right. And that's what Zimmerman.
All that money Zimmerman got? Mm-hmm. I think Zimmerman got like $250,000 for that gun.
Yeah. That's what he's doing. You know, so hopefully they don't give it back, but he has basically gone to court trying to get his gun back, which he also purchased illegally. Right. So yeah.
Right. This is the war, family. This is what a race war looks like. Shout out to
Absolutely.
Jason Black.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You better know it. You know, you guys better pay attention. Keep your eyes and ears open. White
We got any
supremacy.
more
Race.
we got any more big ones? We're gonna get ready to wrap this episode up. But if we got any more you know, big important topics, let's knock it out.
Not any major big topics other than I think this is big. So the IRS to require facial recognition to view tax returns. I think that's big.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
is big.
because you know, you already go through so much security, you know, to access these documents if you're doing it online and stuff like that. Like, you know, now y'all want face recognition. Like this is to put your face in databases and stuff like that, which we know does not work. Several people have been arrested because that thing didn't work, you know, and identified them correctly. We already know who the targets of those things will be. So no.
Right. And that's another way to make it easier to you know, discriminate based on race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know who
and all of that too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I see a lot of stuff like that where they're starting to implement technology in order to practice old-fashioned white supremacy, right? You know what I'm saying? Now they could blame it on the robots and the AI and the, you know, all that. They're gonna blame it on that. Well, you know, it was the computer. You can't say the computer's racist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
One more before we go, because I think this one is big and I should have, you know, looked at it. But what's his name? Duty Low. So you guys know that he had this girlfriend. Her name was FTN Bay. I don't know what she does. I don't know if she's an Instagram girl. I believe she's a stripper. But nonetheless, he was accused, or she accused him of molesting her son at one point. I guess he was in town when this happened. She had to go to the club to work, so she left her son with this guy that you kind of date only or see when he's in town, right? So you leave your son with this stranger, because he's a stranger. He's not the father. He's not in town enough for you to be that comfortable with leaving your child. But she was all over social media, you know, saying what her son said that he did, you know, telling him to do a lie detector test. He's always maintained his innocence the entire time, you know, but the details, right? The details were just horrific. So come to find out, she just did this public online apology. Her son made it up. And if you actually look at, because he posted his own receipts from the DA, the son said that mom instructed him, gave him the verbal instructions on what to say. And in that case, as much as she put this man through, you know, his career, everything was on the line with something so heinous, she should be arrested.
Absolutely. There should be charges for that.
Absolutely.
There should be charges for that. And I don't believe her at all. I don't believe her at all. How old is her son?
I think her son was like 3 or 4 or something. He's young. He's not like 8 and up. He's under 6, I'll say.
Ain't no kid gonna make up no devious lie like that and go into detail. I don't believe her at all. She talking about she's sorry, but she just believed her son. She wanted to believe her son. Nah, man. Nah. You made up that goddamn lie.
You made it up.
Weaponized your damn baby to try to take this man down. You're absolutely right. There should be charges for shit like that, man. I can't stand females that do shit like that, or anybody that do fuck shit like that.
Exactly. And it's sad because, you know, the confusion, you know, she's damaging her son now.
Your own child. Exactly.
And she's also teaching him how to be a liar. Yeah,
your child should be taken away from you, and you need to go to jail for a little while. You need to go sit down somewhere.
Exactly. And I appreciated him. He highlighted it, like, let's be clear what was discovered, you know, from the DA. When they talked to the child, my mama told me to
and look what you putting your child through. Your child got to be interrogated by police and all of that shit. Like,
and it's also the medical exam, because I'm sure she was saying that he did something to him, you know, and all this stuff. So even taking him to the hospital, which they never found anything there, which was good. But the fact that, and again, I told you guys this the other day, I was a victim of such as well. And I even remember having to go and get checked and stuff like that. And as a kid, you're confused because even though it's a doctor, they're checking you in areas that, you're not used to that. You go to the doctor, they, check your ears and stuff like that, when you're a kid. But now they're checking places that they don't normally check. So that is another horrible experience for a child that young.
Right. So not only are you putting this man through this, experience and damaging his reputation and his career and all of that, but what you're doing to your child is even worse.
That's abuse. That's a form of child abuse. And absolutely. I hope, that he uses his celebrity, if there's any, to, seek charges against her because, sorry isn't enough for what she did to her child or to this man because you're hurt. I guess that, y'all not together. Remember, he broke it off, whatever the situation.
You didn't get what you wanted out the situation. Yeah. You thought you was going to level up and all you did was get smashed.
Yep. And you knew what it was, sis. So get your smash on and keep it pushing. All right, y'all. So
yeah, we're gonna wrap this one up, family. It is 9 p.m. So those of y'all who are interested, make sure y'all go tap in with Vicky Diller and Brother Reza Islam. Yeah. They should be going live on their Zoom call right about now. So go to onpurposewithvicky.com, get registered, tap in with them. They're going to be Reza is going to be giving an exclusive on what's going on with this global pandemic. Like I said earlier today, they were out in DC in large numbers, having a rally against these mandates. And he's going to be giving us the exclusive on what's going on with this global pandemic. So make sure y'all tap in with them, family. We appreciate y'all joining us tonight. Yes. Like always, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new content. Again, this is Sincere Love the Godcast. I am the God, Sincere Love. My lovely co-host, Nicety Girl. Make sure you're following her at Nicety Girl with the #1 on Instagram, without the #1 on all other social media platforms. Make sure you are following me. I'm at Sincere Love the God on all social media platforms. And that does it for today's episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. And remember, we are not the master teachers. We are only the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. Appreciate y'all tapping in with us.
I know your part better than mine. Thank you guys again for tapping in with us this Sunday. So we do have a schedule change this week for the Black Business Showcase, you guys. So we will be broadcasting on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. On Tuesday, we will have a mayoral candidate, Christopher Leggett, out of Augusta, Georgia. He's running on a reparations agenda, so we will be chopping it up with him. Make sure you guys tap in if you have any questions about, his run, how he plans on changing, the conditions of the people, Black people in Augusta. Make sure you tap in on Tuesday. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And again, on Wednesday, we have another Black business that we will be showcasing. Same time, same place. Make sure you tap in. And thank you guys again for tapping in. Good night.
Peace to the family.
Do for self or suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah.